Okay, so this is the very first Toon Hotline video, and I'm going to start out with a rant. As you can see, I'm in Toon Valley, but I'm not ranting about Toon Valley at all. I'm ranting about rants about Toon Valley. There are several videos that say things like, Toon Valley is so bad because there's hackers, or Toon Valley is so bad because there's date shows and game shows and nobody's playing the game and da da da. Well, honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, this game is meant for kids. It's not meant for, you know, it's just meant for kids. Obviously, it's not an adult-targeted game, even though adults play it and things like that. But there's kids on this game because it's a kid-targeted game, and kids are going to do what kids do. And I'm not saying that I agree with people who are like 8 years old and things like that dating in-game, but from a date show, like from going to one to see what it was, which I've done today, I went to a couple of different things to see what it was all about, and honestly, I can say that it's not that bad. It's not like they're giving out all their personal information or anything. They're just kind of role-playing in the game, and that's kind of what people do in Toon Valley. And yeah, it's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. They're not hurting anyone else. So I don't see a point of anyone being rude or talking badly about people who do things in Toon Valley. Yeah, the district is very laggy, but Nutty River is also. And I mean, anything that they're doing in Nutty River is just as bad as anything they do in Toon Valley, because people park in Nutty River. That's why it's so full all the time, and that's why it's so laggy. So, I mean, that's just as bad. Parking and then people who are actually active in the game doing things is a lot different. Okay, so I have joined a school, and we're going to see how this goes. This is what a lot of people in Valley tend to do that I've seen, or have school things. And so I guess they answer questions.
I'm waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. Breaking in, shaping you. Are you mine? Elephant of the chase moves in mysterious ways. So in case I'm mistaken, I just wanna hear you say you got me, baby. Are you mine?
Okay, so what I gathered from participating in that game show or school was it was a complete waste of time. I mean, it wasn't hurting anyone. It didn't hurt me. It didn't affect anyone in game. So why people complain about people doing those kinds of things, I'm not really sure. But I mean, who is anyone to get angry about someone else wasting their time on a game? Because playing a game is kind of a waste of time anyway. That's the point, isn't it? Not to, you know, the point of a game is to something to do when you don't have anything else to do. And how people play that is not really someone else's place to tell them, I guess, other than the creator of the game, like the mods in the game or whatever. Okay, so next I want to talk about hacking. If you played any online game at all, you've probably encountered a hacker. Or, I mean, if you played it for like a long period of time, or in Toontown's case, if you've ever been to Toon Valley. So, they're not really that big of a deal, especially on Toontown. I mean, the worst hackers we have are the ones that reset districts, and there's no legitimate proof that this has ever actually occurred, but people who hack accounts or something. I mean, maybe if there was a keylogger, but you would have to accept a file from them or something. So, yeah, we don't really have bad hackers on this game compared to other ones. I mean, there's actually hackers on other games that will steal your account because they know what they're doing. They don't just have some little client-sided codes or whatever that somebody else writes in a program that somebody else created. Real hackers actually create their own stuff, and I mean, there are pros and cons to hacking though that a lot of people don't see. Like, for example, there is a DNA code that you can use to change your toon's appearance. And there's also a code that you can change your toon's name. Well, it's the name reset code. And from using those codes and things like that, I mean, those kinds of codes are not bad, and they're not gonna harm anyone's accounts. I mean, unless somebody logged into your account because you somehow gave them access to it. And yes, that includes, accepting a file from someone, because if you don't know who it is, why would you accept a file from them? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't, if you get hacked, you kind of put yourself in that situation, like, not on other games, but maybe like on Toontown, for example, because I mean, you can't just get hacked on this game, because nobody on this game is really smart enough to even, like, know what the codes are referring to or anything. Like, honestly, there is probably a very, very small amount of people who can, like, actually code things, and that doesn't mean, like, filling in a DNA code or something that someone else already provided you with. That's not hacking. That's just memorizing codes that somebody else, found or something. And honestly, from what I've heard from pretty much everyone, Python, which is what Toontown is coded with and stuff, is the easiest thing to hack. So not only is that not really impressive anyway, since it's like literally the easiest one, which explains everything, honestly, but that's not impressive, but it's also like really dumb for people to brag about it and take things that people put in work into, like, finding the codes and stuff. Like, I'm not really impressed with the people that found it anyway, because a lot of people that locate those kinds of codes and stuff, they use it as kind of like to threaten other members. Like, if you don't da 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 whatever, then I'm gonna reset all of the districts. Like, that's not really. Those are that's the bad side of hacking. Like, people like that, and those kinds of people should be terminated and should be looked down on and should be complained about. But not all hacking is necessarily bad. Um, I mean, it's just not. It's not all bad, and not all of it should be complained about. The only time it should be complained about is if it interrupts your gameplay. Um, if you go to Toontown Valley or Toon Valley, whatever, and you put yourself in that situation where there's tons of hackers, and I'm not talking about like a building in Minnie's Melody Land in the district Toon Valley. I'm talking about Toontown Central, Toon Valley. You know that there's hackers there, and you know how laggy the district is in general. So I mean, you can't complain about hackers when you go to the place where filled with hackers. And I mean, honestly, the district in general, you can't complain about lag or getting the district being reset, because you know that it's reset all the time, and the entire district is filled with hackers and people who only want to interrupt gameplay. So I mean, there's no point in even complaining about all this when you put yourself in that situation. Like, I would understand if you were in, okay, an invasion district or something for a clan on a website, like Toontown Hall or something, and you went to an invasion district and you were doing buildings and whatever, and the district gets reset by a hacker. Okay, that is a completely different side, and you have the right to complain and be like, hey, you need to leave that in Toon Valley or just not do it at all. I mean, but it all leads back to the fact that they just want attention. Like, if we don't even pay them any mind or give them any attention whatsoever, but I mean, that's never going to happen because not everyone thinks that way because of the fact that there's a lot of kids on this game in Toontown Valley or on Toontown. So, I mean, if we were able to leave them alone and not pay any attention to them, then it would stop. And I mean, that's the only reason they do it, for attention, because like I said, Toon Valley is where people go to talk and hang out and get attention. It's a bunch of kids, and they're gonna try to all impress each other. Some of them use hacking. So, all in all, Toon Valley is an annoying place. I can agree with that. But if you don't like it, then you probably just should stay away from it, because some people like to go to it, some people don't. I don't think the district should be removed, or that BChat Plus should be removed or anything. Honestly, I'm glad that there's this little district, because you think about the kinds of people that are here and what they do and stuff like that, and how annoying some of them are. Aren't you glad that they're there instead of disrupting everyone else's gameplay, the people who actually like to play the game the way that it was technically designed for you to play, like to do tasks and things like that? These people don't go past 15 laugh, 16 laugh, 17 laugh most of the time. So, I mean, they're here and they're not in the middle of everyone else's gameplay disrupting everything.